Mike Gill, State of Corruption. Before I start this video, this is going to be a translation of what's going on right now. What Donald Trump called out in the presidential debate, what's happening now in your state. I'm going to translate what's happening, why it's happening, and who's doing it. So you're never going to be able to say that you didn't know the truth. Because that's my candidacy, is telling you the truth. I mean, I'm done baby talking. I've turned around and told you who I was. I only had the largest business brokerage firm, the largest mortgage firm in the country, and the largest racing operation in the world. You know, just some guy who lived in New Hampshire, went to school to be a priest, that's right. Came out, and this is what you got. But what you do have is I had to come to a point in my life. Understand this, I am 60 years old. The only thing good about being older is that I come with a fucking resume. That's right. You find me a world fucking champion. Most wins in the history of racing from New Hampshire. You tell me somebody of those accomplishments started the biggest company. You can't even create a fucking job in this state. Right? You got Yogurt Boy and Sununu. What the hell have they created? Yogurt? Right. So in other words, you got a picture of Van Ostrand. Here are the boys. But I'm going to get into them a little bit more. We're going to step through this. But I could have lived under a palm tree and enjoyed the rest of my life, you know, like a fucking king. But I came to a moment. I knew Bill Shaheen and Walker. They worked for me. You got it? They were bootlicking assholes. That's all they were. I was a wealthy guy. They were kissing my ass quite regularly. But I found out who they are. Shaheen wanted to extort me for a sign for $100,000. Walker was protecting a Ponzi scheme of FRM. All I had to do was buy in. You know, sell you guys out. So if I'm ever considered to be a little off, it's for not selling you assholes out. And taking the $50 million. Remember the list? Just in case it was signed pinheads. Meaning I didn't take their money. You want to know if I have the temperament for this office? I'm exactly the temperament you need. You think somebody else has been doing this for 10 years? Risking his life? Spending millions? Hurting his brand? Right, that ain't Donald Trump, that's fucking me. And just so you know, after the election, no matter what happens, I'm running for governor, you know, on the next fucking day. And State of Corruption keeps going on. And we're going to keep building it. Don't consider this win, lose, or draw. I'm going to beat their ass, with or without your asses, by the way. That's right. I mean, I've been waiting for you people. Your only children's future is at grave stake. Now that's the end of my election speech, you know, for today. Now let's go through. Let's translate. Do you remember when I did a video and I dropped the package off to John Boy? Right. The guy I said who I was 5 times and had the Bedford cops come say, hey, won't tell me his name. Well, I'll tell you my name is Trouble. Right, John? Turns out you made the news. That's right, WMUR. You had a nice picture thing with, oh, that's right, Kelly Ayotte. Right, someone's arresting people. You notice that bitch got in the picture. No shit. Hey, why don't you tell him, Kelly, you've been protecting all the distribution of all this, right? McLean Law Firm. John, you remember you thought it was funny. Do you know? You must have acted on a lot of the information I fucking gave you. Great work.
I'm sure there's a lot of opioids in there that would lead to a lot of abuse issues, and today's a great day for law enforcement because this stuff is safely getting turned in.
But I go on. It's a cover-up, folks. Right. Now, this is when the DEA in Bedford came, and Chief Bryonsky, the DEA head that turned out to want your job in Bedford. Yeah, so the guys who were supposed to protect your ass, let's see what happened when they got here. This is when they got here. This is where the fuck we are now. Nice job, pinheads. That's exactly what you do when you were covering up for these guys. I went to the Bedford police. Bryonsky had a heart attack. Right. Because he didn't want to talk to me. He had some schlep call us, some baloney, and he only wanted our evidence and our witnesses. This is all a cover-up. Now remember, now you're going to see a little minute clip. Listen, I don't care if you like Donald Trump or not. Can we agree on the fucking statement? The statement is that we have the worst heroin problem and our people, our children are dying in this state.
The Border Patrol agents, 16,500 plus ICE last week, endorsed me. First time they've ever endorsed a candidate. It means their job is tougher, but they know what's going on. They know it better than anybody. They want strong borders. They feel we have to have strong borders. I was up in New Hampshire the other day. The biggest complaint they have, it's with all of the problems going on in the world, many of the problems caused by Hillary Clinton and by Barack Obama, all of the problems, their single biggest problem is heroin that pours across our southern borders, just pouring and destroying their youth. It's poisoning the blood of their youth and plenty of other people. We have to have strong borders. We have to keep the drugs out of our country. Right now, we're getting the drugs, they're getting the cash.
Now, when MUR just said it, you rag, who protects the corrupt, you want to know why these guys get to be who they are and protecting them? It's WMUR.
For someone that's new to covering all of this, explain.
Could you talk a little louder? I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm a little deaf.
Can you explain what just happened in there in your own words?
Well, what's happening is it's a cover-up. Shaheen and Gordon knows who Aganos, Cruz, and Griner is. They do business together. If you get them, you just might get Shaheen. If you don't believe there's corruption in this state and it's being protected in the courts, I mean, we only have the worst heroin problem in the United States per capita. How do you think we got that? Listen, I have evidence. I have 4 witnesses that I'm going to the U.S. Attorney and the DEA. Now, they know I have this. I'm going to give them the witnesses. I'm going to give them the names. They're all current witnesses. And we're going to let the Department of Justice do it. And how's this? There's a secret grand jury going on right now. Asked a few questions.
How do you know that it's secret, Mike?
Yeah, if it's secret, how do you know that? I mean,
Well, if it's secret, do you think more than one person knows about it? Do you think maybe the fact that I know about it is I've been turning evidence over to them now? Maybe that's how.
You didn't introduce any evidence.
Maybe that's how they produced evidence. In fact, what they were trying to show you in there was I was talking to a union leader, reporter, that I was showing him the evidence to take pictures of, except for it didn't make the paper. See, the problem I have is that these people are paying the bills. Who's the biggest advertiser in Channel 9? Who's the biggest advertiser? A union leader. Maybe it's just those plaintiffs.
It's the union leader. I gave the union leader the evidence on Aganos. They haven't been to another hearing. You see a little clip of MUR with me, and I turn around and ask him, who's your biggest dealers? Who's your biggest customers? It's the plaintiffs, Aganos and Cruz. It's always about the money. So now they're into the cover-up, right? So they go on MUR. Johnny goes on MUR, right? Emily Rice, the U.S. Attorney, hey, if you have information, we only send it over by the truckload, you hump. You know we gave it to you. You've done nothing. You know who put her in charge? Shaheen and Ayot. How's that for a trifecta of shit? Now, we turn around, and in this article, they show you this. Boxes of drugs. In fact, they even have a full truck. A whole truck full. Hey, remember, John? Nice day for drug enforcement. Well, let's see what they got. Well, they got heroin. This is how much. There you go. That's how much they got. They got a little cocaine too. This is how much they got of that. Proportionately. Do I have to remind you of a truck full of fucking boxes? What was the rest of the stuff? Yeah, I'll let you keep looking at these. Now, where is all that boxes of stuff? What is it? Drugs. Well, let's take a look. Let me give you a few statistics. Do you know the DEA estimates that traffickers can buy a kilogram of fentanyl for $3,300 and sell it for more than $1 million? All right, just to give you an idea, this is a milligram, spoonful. This is a gram, the weight of a paperclip. And the kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So, the question of the day, boys and girls, is you see that big truck full of boxes? This is all the cocaine and heroin that was in that fucking truck. Right. What was the rest of the stuff? Fentanyl? Wait a minute. Are you telling me 2.2 pounds of product equals $1 million fucking dollars? How much money's in that truck? Now wait a minute. Let's do our own. Because if we were asking the criminals to find themselves, they hate that. So let's take a look. Did you know that fentanyl is packaged and labeled? Fentanyl, for those who don't know, is a synthetic form of heroin, meaning it's man-made. Right. So here you go, geniuses. Remember Foster, the AG, that goofy bastard supposed to be looking into the hospitals about medication? Where is all their pain medication? Jesus, I don't know. Could be in those fucking trucks, could it? Damn right. 2 birds with 1 stone. Right? Donald Trump mentions we got a heroin problem, and these guys are shitting ducks. Right. So here you go. The hospitals are going, that's where you're losing fentanyl. Remember the hospitals? There's our boy Dick at the Elliott. Right. U.S. Attorney X Kakavas at the Dartmouth. And my friend and yours, detected murderer Alex Walker. Right. Hey, nice job, Catholic Medical Center. I'm sure you've turned a few people Protestant. Now, where did they get all those fentanyl in the trucks? How about the fucking hospitals? How's that for a cover-up? John Boy looks in the DEA, looks like they're doing something. AOC gets a photo opportunity. Yeah, and Willett, the goofy bastard, the police chief from Manchester. Yeah, we did our job. Did you know 1 pill can make an addict? You are such a dope. Right? So, they forgot that none of you guys can add? Is that the problem? Because outside of this, the rest of the shit is fentanyl. You know, the Mexican cartel. Now, I'm not telling you the Mexicans, the Russians, the fucking Chinese. I mean, it is a smorgasbord of bullshit. Hey, here's Anagos and sombrero. Kind of ironic, isn't it? Yeah. So let's look at this. So now, Foster's off the hook. Another AG plan. These guys are so stupid. If you just listen. So here's the AG plan. Foster turns around, gets off the hook with the fucking hospitals, because then they go for the inventory and it's all gone. It happens to be in the truck, and they make it look like the biggest drug load in history. Now I'm going to show you the picture of the 6 people that came out of New Hampshire. Now they should be behind my head now. Do they look like drug kingpins to you? Or a bunch of dopes that are involved in heroin themselves and a bunch of fucking addicts? Right. So these people are the real people who are running the distribution, the protection for drugs. You know, that's the magic trick. It isn't bringing the heroin in. Turns out a lot of people, it's the transportation, it's the dealing. So let's take a look. How could that happen? Well, the first thing you do is you own the politicians. For instance, this guy Ruoff in Walker. Remember the video? I just did it. I call taking a walker. Right. Did you know that Ruoff also represented the Mexican cartel in a big drug deal? Yeah, he just got off my case. You know where it went? To Brentwood. You know why it's at Brentwood? Because they're packaging everything together and trying to leverage my silence because I'll put their asses in jail. Hey, don't laugh. Look where they are. And trust me, they're not laughing. I don't know if you've been watching all these videos. I'm putting and turning it into this. Now let's see how they do it. Because you know what they haven't told you about? Distribution and protection. So, who and how is it being distributed? And laundered. Don't forget laundry. Doing the laundry. Well, I don't know. If somebody went to own trucking companies or car businesses, right, Cruz? You could be shipping them in. And how many trucking business and transportation business does fucking Agnos own? I don't know. I do have an accountant that said he was working under the books with a very big delivery service right by the airport. Planes, trains, and automobiles. Right, that's how they fucking do it. And then, you know what media does? Give them a big kiss in the ass because, for instance, in MUI, Cruz and Agnos are your biggest clients. Here's Andy Cruz winning the Dealer of the Year. Beautiful. Auto Fair. Every time you buy a fucking car, you help these assholes launder money. Remember the movie Scarface? Remember Frank Lopez? Yeah, he was in the car business too. Right. That's how they launder. You know how else do they launder money? Casinos. Right. Now, Jesus, who runs all of the casinos and charitable gambling in this fucking state? Oh, that's right, Sombrero Boy, Agnos. Here it is. And you're selling drugs out of here. Laundering the money. Selling cars, financing, that's laundering the money. Then you move it into your own bank. You're going to see a little photo of them moving the bank. In Scarface, remember bags of money? They do the same thing here. They call it credit unions and primary bank. We're going to post a picture of them opening primary bank. You should be interested on who's on it. Brent Griner is the director. They're caught. It's the money laundering. And you don't have to worry about getting caught. Because remember, I did a little video just recently called Little Trust. The banking commissioner, Jerry Little, you got to follow along because this is all contained. We get one piece, you get everybody. Jerry Little's the state senator who sits right next to Avard and they play all day long. And it turns out he writes a bill. A bill to make it legal for the banking commission not to require your information. Meaning, we won't even audit you. If we think, like for instance, Bob Flory, who works at the Granite State Credit Union, who's a fucking crook, who is only the assistant banking commissioner, yeah, we trust him. No audit. We don't need no fucking audits. Right? Now, they only did that last year after I called them drug laundering. That's exactly right. Drug laundering. And then they make it a law, not the law. What that is if they get caught, Little goes, hey, I feel stupid. And you should. But I trusted them. Right. That's what he did. Deniability, bingo. So we've got the trucking companies. We're right by the airport in Manchester. We own the gambling. Oh, wait a minute. What if they break into the gambling? Oh, then we got Eddie Munster, Mikey Munster, and Teddy Munster to fucking protect them. Mikey Munster is the gambling commissioner. Whoa! Laundering again. Right? All laundering. So, the banks, the distribution, What do they own? Credit unions, the banks, the distributions. I go, wake up! That's what's happening. This is the political cover-up. Listen, I hate Shaheen and Ayotte equally, but the first one you take out is the cover team. You take out Ayotte in the AG's office, and these criminal bastards, Shaheen and Van Ostrand, they all fall. Right? It's unchecked. Well, let's go to our government. No, I did go to Jerry Little's commission hearing. Whether we should make him the commission. In fact, you'll see a video, and I'll post it, of doing the laundering. No, I turned around and told them they're laundering drug money, about the criminality in FRM. To my right was Sununu, that pinhead, and Van Ostrand, who didn't say a word. I still haven't seen him blink. Is it just fucking me? Listen, I got a picture of him with John Edwards. Right, I think he's holding his lunch. Right, this guy's bred to be a creepy bastard. Right, he's only politics. When these assholes were selling yogurts and working with Daddy, I was the world champion. Right, but let's go back to that hearing. I talked about drug laundering. I talked about the corruption in the banking department, the FRM. Do you think our two governor candidates asked one fucking question? Drug laundering? Right. Can you tell us about that? How about FRM and the corruption? No. And you know what I didn't know? I didn't know that they knew that Little was the one that passed the bill to make it legal not to audit these bastards. That's who you're getting. A couple of empty suits. Sununu's doing it for his fortune. Van Ostrand's been an ass kisser at birth. There are a couple of empty fucking suits. You want it straight, you're getting it straight. Vote for me or not, I'm still going to kick their ass. I'd rather be the guy that kicks them out than be the guy that's in. No problem. Whatever I got to do to win. And win isn't an election. Win is to put these assholes in jail. Give your kids a chance at justice, at a state, and creating jobs. They're going to steal this pot business. They're going to give it to their treatment centers. What's the bet that Shaheen's involved in the ownership of these? They don't do anything for free. Now, I just want you to give you a lesson in history. We got Steve Grindrich, that we gave you before, about machine guns working with these guys as part of the transportation of these drugs. He only robbed a couple of banks with a fucking machine gun. Right. Now, they have guns because they're afraid to get robbed. Like Tony had a gun. Right? It's part of it. You see your area, your city of Manchester? I mean, how many deaths do you want? It's a war zone. Cops don't go to jail? Yes, they do. This is from Cocaine Cowboys. Turned out the whole police department. And the Pizza Connection in Massachusetts and in New York, a whole department went to jail. Now all you have to do is look. Of course they're corrupt. The cops are abusive and corrupt because they know they're protected by the judges and the politicians. We are the only ones they kick the shit out of and rob. Everything that they're doing is about money. If the programs in this state stealing money from the feds, these are the people, they vote in the bills, they bring in the rules. And that's what they did with the banking department. Now listen, that's a translation. That's the truth. This is all bullshit with these drugs. They were afraid. You know what? Trump's leveraging them. And listen, I want somebody to talk corruption and drugs. And in this state he's doing this. I want to leave you with one thought. Why is New Hampshire ground zero? How did it become ground zero? It became ground zero because we are the most corrupt state in the country. We were small, we were gullible, and these guys saw it. You let Aganos get away with dealing drugs for 40 years. They've invested their money in the politicians. You let Shaheen. They went from the criminal aspect of this with the U.S. attorney to become the criminals. It's a training ground. The AG's office is covering your state. This whole thing with this corruption comes out of the AG's office. Mike Gill, State of Corruption.